And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. This is going to be, well, a bit of a different video. I am in a different setting, as you guys can see, visiting family. It's a lovely day in an undisclosed place in Canada somewhere. Today, of course, we're going to be talking about XRP, just going to be continuing the story. Everyone is spooked out. I've been getting a lot of comments. Krisha, what's going on? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Mango, well, what's going on? Where are you guys? As far as getting spooked out is concerned, should we all be spooked out right now? Once again, guys, zoom out. And for those of you who fade the macro signals and signatures that we're seeing this cycle, you jump the gun on calling bear market too fast, you're going to be missing out on opportunities. All right. So let's quickly get into XRP because I want to tell you exactly what it is that I'm looking at right now. All right, so in my last airport analysis where the audio was absolute trash, I am so sorry about that, but I was just trying to get something out for you guys. But yeah, we're looking at that $3.08 region. I said look for a weekly candle close over that region to get the confirmation. That was hinged primarily off of the weekly 10 simple moving average. Did not do that, okay? I've been sort of showcasing the weekly time frame as one of the most critical time frames to get confirmation on XRP's trend. Okay, it's very important to establish the time frame, that macro time frame that the coin, the asset you're looking at is trending on. Now, this is where XRP right now is stuck in the middle of a rock and a hard place. Right, 10 SMA to the upside, but we also have support. Okay, support being that weekly dynamic support. Right, so I'll say this: if there's any place that I'd want to see XRP to get a pick me up at, I want to see the bulls really step in. It's actually right here, okay, where price is currently at. I think this entire zone is very important for the XRP bulls. I want to start seeing strength across this entire zone. So right now, the weekly dynamic comes in at around $2.66. For those of you who want to take note of that number, please go ahead and do so. I'll be annotating it on my screen, but we are currently seeing a pick-me-up right there, right? But for me to then look for continuation on XRP, the criteria, guys, remains the same. I want to see price clear out the 10 simple moving average, and you can see the weekly 10 is now in a negative slope there, right? Right now, that level has moved from 308. It's come down to $3 on the dot. All right, so I'm going to be amending that. And that's why, guys, I want you guys to start keeping up with the XRP updates, because with every new candle, we have new information on the chart and our levels are dynamically moving. The dynamic support as well as a 10 simple moving average. So if you guys want to keep up with the XRP story, make sure you're hitting the sub and the bell icon. Now, for those of you wondering, what are the chances that we recover right here, right now? Prices just ripping our faces only for the next week to be a green week. Well, for that, we'll get into the Mango dashboard, okay? I think this is really going to give you a good idea of whether or not we see that impulsive move in the short term, or are we waiting a couple more weeks out? Do the bears still have a bit more juice left in them to take prices down a bit further? Now, XRP USDT, we got shorts across the board from the 4-hour to the daily time frame. However, one thing that's telling me the bears still have a bit more juice left in them is, of course, the volatility profile on the 4-hour 54 and even daily volatility profile at 16. And this is currently telling me that, okay, the bears still have a bit more juice. So ideally, what you want to see, if you want to start seeing, well, a reversal right here, and for XRP to start taking up in price, you want to see that 4-hour trend flip long, right? At the very least, I want to see that short turn neutral and then long. And this is that critical juncture where I want to see all of this unfold. It's very important, given that XRP is on its weekly levels. Guys, I have driven the importance of this time and time again over multiple daily videos, telling you how that weekly dynamic has led almost every bull and bear market. That is our edge. Now, what are the chances that we actually see a pick me up right here for XRP? Like, what is the probability of that? I'll give it a higher probability of a bullish tear right here as opposed to a breakdown right here, considering we're still within the bull run parameters. All right, and more importantly, if you're looking at historic data, okay, now I have presented this before, but I'll do it once again. If you're looking at every bull market, okay, I'm just sort of circling it on the bull markets. 2013 was one, 2017, 2018 was another. We had one in 2020, 2021, okay, and now it's 2025, still within the bull run parameter. Now, 2013, I've noticed that every bull run, okay, the tail end of the bull run, that last quarter, Q4, okay, which we're getting into next month, October, November, December, it's always been a green quarter. Okay, 2013, we saw a plus 479%. Okay, that was 2017 was an amazing last quarter for Bitcoin as well as the altcoins, right? We saw Bitcoin do 215% in that last quarter. The altcoins did significantly better. Okay, the altcoins were shining bright. So that was 2017. Fast forward to 2021. This was the COVID cycle, right? That too was a green quarter, albeit it was more subdued, given that Bitcoin actually went in to put in a double top. But mind you, that was Bitcoin's double top, but the altcoins actually saw higher highs in that last quarter. Basically, that historical trajectory that we've seen the last quarter of every bull run has been a green quarter. And the way this time is shaping out too, we've already seen quite a bit of a prolonged consolidation, with many of the altcoins holding those cyclical regions of support, like for instance, XRP still holding that weekly region of support. I'm saying for as long as we're doing this, for as long as we're holding these critical regions, the bulls still have the edge here. Top this off. This is an index that I've been following. I've brought this up to your attention as well, which is total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin, to help me gauge whether or not the market is going risk on the altcoins or not. Okay, compared to Bitcoin, if you're comparing Bitcoin and you're comparing the altcoins, if I had to ask you which one is the more risky play, what are you going to tell me? Of course, it's going to be the altcoins. A lot of it is just vaporware for the most part, right? You're dealing with memes. People were dealing with NFTs in the last cycle. I mean, and NFTs, non-fungible stuff. What you like, I may not like. But then people are still trading this. People will risk on. They're very, very happy to be seeking yield at that time when interest rates were really, really low. We're not in that environment right now. Okay, but what this chart is really giving us a gauge on is, are we ready for risk on the altcoins? Okay, so we're looking for the breakout. Do we have the breakout? Well, in the month of August, we did get that breakout. Okay, I'm looking at the monthly time frame, mind you. Okay, monthly time frame right here. Did we get the breakout? Well, yes, we did. Okay, it was a minor close over, but it's there. We got the breakout, but more importantly, if you zoom in on this, we are actually holding it as support still. We haven't broken that region. Getting into the month of September, the end of this month, if we close well on this, we get 2 confirmed closes over. This is looking good. Okay, we might actually be looking at a green quarter for the altcoins. Don't fade these indices that help guide us in understanding whether or not there's a breakout, whether or not we still have a trend, yes or no, because you don't know when we might see those pick-me-ups, right? You don't want to be sort of chasing price, because when coins like XRP, XLM, all of these coins, they start running, I mean, they rip in your face. You're looking at 80% in a week, right? In fact, XRP did that this cycle alone back in November of last year, right? So you want to be positioning on your weekly macro levels before the takeoff, because once it actually starts ripping, you're not getting another chance at those weekly levels, right? If you just even look at the November rally, we started going 500%, okay, 500% in about 2 months. Did we get a test of the weekly dynamic support through that 500% rally? No. It's only when we start that 6-month consolidation did we get the test, right? So you're not going to get these critical bids. So when you do get them, make sure to sort of take advantage of them. And why to take advantage of them? Because managing the trade is super duper 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 easy. Okay, if it breaks, we get confirmed closes underneath. Hey, you're wrong on the trade. Get the hell out of the trade. You're not buying in the middle of the range. You're buying on a macro region of support. These bids you very, very seldom get when the trend begins. Right, so pay attention to this. This is one thing I always tell you guys in the Sprouts program. When you're getting into trades, understand a few things about your trade. What is your time horizon on that trade? Okay, is it a short-term trade? Is it a mid-term trade? Is it a trend trade? Understand your trade, okay, your time horizon on the trade, and more importantly, understand when you are invalidated on the trade. Okay, have those invalidations pat down, because if you start making excuses for your invalidations and prices come down, you're sitting in blood. Okay, prices come down to a key region of support, and where you should have been adding to your position, you should have been getting in on your position, you're no longer getting in on your position because you're already sitting deep in the red. All right, have those invalidations, follow the invalidations. That way, when the opportunity presents itself, you're in the right mindset to actually take advantage of that opportunity. And also, for those of you in the Sprouts program, risk management module is out, so go ahead and check that out. Of course, we're going to be following the XRP trade on the Discord chat, so join the Discord. I will now see you guys in there with this. Trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.